School.
You asked for more live and relevant talk shows, and we heard you. 88.5 Sufra FM presents House Guest, a brand new, fresh fortnightly feature airing on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. House Guest will showcase a cadre of professionals from doctors and entrepreneurs to the next door friendly neighbor. So tune in as we network the community with a platform for open, frank, and informative discussion. Only on Sufra FM, your community radio station.
Casualty 911, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with the consultant. Health is not merely the absence of diseases. It is your social, economic, physical, spiritual, and mental well-being. Just imagine you on 88.5 Sufra FM talking, questioning, sharing your experience, information, education, entertainment, news, instructions, advice on diabetes, high blood pressure, strokes, menopause, AIDS, pregnancy, sex.
Sex? Did you say sex?
As prescribed, take your medication, exercise, and diet. On 88.5 Sufra FM, tell a friend, call your neighbor. Casualty 911 is on.
And of course, gotta say good morning to you. Welcome inside another edition of Casualty 911 with me, Erlen Ziffer, along with Miss Wilson. I gotta say good morning to you, along with Fawn as well. All right, so welcome, guys. Welcome.
Thank you, Erlen.
Good morning. Thank you, Erlen.
Fawn, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, hold on, Fawn. I gotta. Fawn, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can. You can hear me, but I can't hear you for some reason. I don't know why. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Very nice. Go ahead.
So thank you for the welcome. It's been a while. Happy New Year to you.
With many happy returns.
Thank you.
Louisa,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm good, Erlen. Like Paul said, let me wish you a happy new year. It's been a while. I hope this new year brings you lots and lots of happiness.
You sound distant. And
I don't know why.
Hold on, folks. I know why.
Why
Because
is that?
she has the wrong mic. She's trying to run away from me.
Oh, you know that? Erlen, we have to practice social distancing, especially these days.
Yes.
Let me say, I wish you happiness, good health, and I hope you continue working with us for this new year, just like the past year. I know you have been a great support to us. You keep things going for us, and you're always very, very supportive. And let me say thank you. You know, not many times we tend to appreciate people for all their assistance and help. So I think Fawn and I are forever grateful. So we wish you the best. Well, I wish you the best for the new year.
Thank you.
And your family, that is.
Thank you.
So,
What's on the agenda this morning?
funny?
Today we're going to be talking a little bit about our New Year. We usually try to have resolutions, but lately we have been hearing a lot about children's resolutions and goals. Resolutions are basically something you should do, but since you actually don't plan and you have steps that you will follow. So we will look a little bit at that. We will also be talking about our chronic disease program from the self-management disease program. If our listeners remember, sometime last year, the month of November, we were supposed to have a guest in to speak about it. And all of that program is a program that will be very helpful for people who are living with chronic conditions in terms of mental management of the conditions. And we will touch briefly on the elephant in the room, which is COVID-19.
Elephant in the room. Nice.
Yes. So, Louisa, Can you start off with your usual welcome to our listeners, all the various business safeties and so on. You have your life on your list that I know you like to go through.
Oh, yes. This is so true, funny, because, many times when we walk throughout the community, people acknowledge us. We kind of,
Celeb.
or they ask me where is Fawn. They haven't seen Fawn for a few days with me, walking in Soufre and Canaries. Let me just say, Happy New Year to all our listeners, both locally and abroad. I must admit, some of our listeners, some of them are very faithful to us, and they continue listening to our program every Mondays. We want to encourage persons to continue listening to our programs. Feel free to give us feedbacks. Feel free to call the program whilst we're on. It's a learning experience for both you and for us. We welcome that opportunity that when you give us feedback so we can improve on our radio program. Let me say a special good morning to the workers at M&C drugstore, the market vendors, the council workers, our caregivers, our bus drivers, who else? Again, I want to
the teachers who are back at school today. Well, back at school with their students, they have been back.
Very much so. I know some of us, as parents, preparing the children for school once again. We have our own concerns. We have, and we have that fear in us that our children are going back to school amidst the increasing COVID cases. But rest assured that, we're trying, you as a parent should try your best to teach your children, how to prevent transmission and doing what is right, and making sure you have the sanitizers, the sanitizing wipes, and everything else that goes along with the package, to go to school with. So again, parents, teachers, students, we know today is the first day back at school, so let us make the best out of it and take all necessary precautions. So Fanny?
Thank you. As I mentioned at the beginning of the program, when we started a new year, we think of it as a new beginning. So many of us have resolutions that come with. Quite often it has to do with our health. Sometimes we have financial resolutions. We want to save a little more. We may want to invest a little more. We may want to manage our funds better. Since it's a health program, we will focus on health. Many people have resolutions to manage different conditions better, or trying to have overall better healthy lifestyle. And I also mentioned that although it's the word resolution, many times by the time we get to February, what we may ask. So how is that resolution for you to exercise 3 times a week, or to exercise more? But sometimes you can put a limit. I'll exercise a bit more, and we have fallen off the wagon. So you may have started in January, so you would start off this week, and by the time you get to the first week of February, you have given up.
Phone.
Yes, Louisa.
Sorry to cut you short, but we're not. Some of the listeners are not hearing you clearly. Try again.
Maybe on maybe
Erland stepped out. Let me see. Oh, he's there. Erlan, some of the listeners are saying they're not hearing Fawn clearly.
Yeah, because she's virtual. Now you know the internet do have that, so there's no clarity. Sometimes there's no clarity.
Ah. So let's just apologize to our listeners.
Yeah. So we want to apologize. Okay, listeners, we do want to apologize for that. Again, like we're saying, phone is in virtual land. And again, internet might cause this a little distortion or, not in terms of clarity. Yeah.
Okay.
So is it that they cannot at all,
they can't hear you. They can't hear you, especially when you first started. I that thought crossed my mind too. Like you're not clear. But then when I give it some thought, I'm like, hey, she's in virtual land.
Oh.
On my end, it is a echo.
Now, but we have.
Should I continue?
Yeah, you should. You
should,
because you're better than when you started. You sound better than when you started.
So I was saying
Yeah.
we were talking about setting habit resolutions and sometimes it won't follow through because it's so big or broad that we tend just to follow. In terms of better management of health conditions, we have this program, health, and there are several who do not who are also trained to facilitate that program for people who are living with chronic conditions. And when we talk about chronic conditions, it can include like diabetes, hypertension, lupus, you name it, arthritis, back pain.
Fawn, I want to break you down. Quickly, what mic are you using? You using your headphones?
Yes, I'm using headphones.
All right. I guess you have to speak slowly so they can actually understand what you're saying.
Oh. I'm not usually talking.
Yeah, but for some reason they can hear you, but they can't understand what you're saying because again, like I made mention, so it has to do with either because you're in virtual world, definitely. So it's either your mic or the internet.
Would you like to try it out on the headphones?
Try it on phone. Let us see.
Let's see if that's gonna work. No, we can't hear you.
We
now.
can't hear you.
we can't hear you.
Oh my God.
My goodness, boy. You have this again. Yeah, we can't hear you. Your mic is off. Okay. Welcome back.
Thank you. So as I was saying, the
Very good.
program is designed to help people who are living with chronic conditions, including diabetes, hypertension, lupus, COPD, arthritis, you name it. A chronic condition is a condition that you have over a lifetime. It's not something that you can cure in 2 weeks. Everybody who has a chronic condition manages it. However, there are good ways to manage the condition and not so good ways. What the program is designed to do is to give knowledge and skills to those who are living with chronic conditions so that they can better manage the condition. Now this program was designed by Stanford University in the US. We use it under license from that university. It has been tested, it has been used implemented for some time now. The program is in 6 sessions over 6 weeks. This program lasts 2 to 2.5 hours full session. So it means that if you would like to participate, you need to be available for 6 consecutively on a day that you would agree to with the facilitator. It is usually facilitated by two people who have been trained to facilitate the program. Sometimes you find that it may be somebody with the Ministry of Health, or it could be somebody who was trained to deliver the program. So sometimes I say one that he could be a fun. Some might say about program, not only of program, kini di pemahaman for diabetes, hypertension, lupus, chronic malaria, kita have to just have PPE, ulabi. Program salah, sa spesies diferent session. So chaque semaine, bukan une session, today, program sa ideo sa clean bien manager condition because délai nous pas di agay esi ou program o kaya pon man ta fait pour sa manager condition libi. The program is usually delivered in English. However, depending on how the group is constituted, you may find that something would be explained briefly in Creole if the participants require. Okay, so même si c'est un programme en anglais, si vous voulez peut-être qui ont difficile pour comprendre en anglais, nous cahiers en créole. So, n'importe monde qui fait cette constitution ça vient en programme. Ou doit attacher des bons manières pour ça entrer au programme. Ou ça qui est enregistré, et bien, là où aller en health center, parler by nous, et bien, yo enregistré pour chronic disease program là yo diabetes, hypertension. Now the thing about it is that sometimes we have a bit of a wait because you need to have at least 12 people. So the group size is usually 12 to 18 people. So if you are registered for Untitled Chapter and there are only three people, you need to wait until you have a group. And sometimes what we find is that they make a facilitator already has some people in a group. He may not have enough participants and may be able to pull in those who are registered at the health center. So you will register your name and your contact. So far when she assez monde pour commencer avec mon niveau pour diriger le programme là. Des autres cas décidé qui joue préféré, qui joue en semaine, et qui because it has to be on the same day every week.
Now, phone. I want to excuse me.
Yes? Yes?
The persons in the on Facebook is simply saying we have an echo on your end.
Yes, I can hear an echo.
Do you have any other maybe your
Devices.
devices on, or your speaker? You have a speaker in the background. Your background? No,
No, I don't.
I don't
I
know.
nothing to that anymore.
Okay,
It's the echo.
because on our end you sound perfect. All right, there's no echo on you know.
I'm hearing a little echo on our end. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, so our technician is actually working. Let's see if it is a whole lot better when he's done. Okay.
So should I continue?
Yes, yes, my love. Go ahead.
Okay, great. So once you are part of the program, what we expect from participants is that you will be punctual, you will show up on time, you will respect the other participants, and you will participate actively. So ça nous vle, le ou ha deside ki jou e ki le, si c'est tous les mercredis à 4 heures, et bien tous les mercredis à 10 heures, c'est pour arriver on t'y met avant 10 heures. So, programme nan session sa komanse à 10 heures. Ou ka jwen moun peut-être qui ka di bagay ou pas d'accord epi, mais ou ni pou respecter ça chaque moun ni pou di. Ek nou ka encourager moun le ou an programme là pour pas juste assis écouter akodi ou l'école ek ou just ka écouter an moun ka parler. Nous voulons participer, nous voulons parler, nous voulons répondre ces questions, nous voulons faire tout ça ou ça pour really pour tout ça programme là ni pou bay. Now, I spoke about I mentioned that it teaches knowledge and skills. So I'm going to go through briefly a little list here. Setting goals and achieving goals. These are some of the things that you would learn within the program. You know, when you set a goal, it's more than just saying, for example, I want to eat more vegetables. So they would break it down for you in terms of deciding what vegetables or when you would eat it or how often, what amount, so that you have a set strategy. You have a strategy as to how you would increase your vegetable intake, or whether it's the water that you want to drink more water. You have a strategy. It's not just saying, okay, I'll drink more water. Okay? So that is one of the things that you will learn. Problem solving. There are steps to problem solving. You would learn all those steps. So if you have a problem, you know how to go through it, how to identify barriers, for example, how to get around the barriers, and all of those things. You would learn techniques to help you manage your pain if you are somebody who's suffering with pain. Communication skills, how to better communicate with, for example, your caretaker or your family members, because when we are living with a chronic condition, sometimes our emotions may get us to feel in certain ways and we may not express ourselves in the best way. So all of that we can learn in this program. How to read food labels so that we can make healthy choices when we go to the supermarket. We can know what amount of fat, what amount of sugar is in the various products that we are thinking of buying. And another important thing is, although we are very much responsible for managing ourselves, because you only see a nurse or a doctor a few times, But for the rest, you may see a doctor once a month or twice a month, see the nurse twice a month. But for the rest of the month, you are on your own trying to manage the condition. So you are basically self-managing. However, your health professionals, the nurses, the doctors, they play an important role in your management of the condition. And it's important that you know how to work with them, how to communicate with them better to make things better. For example, in terms of your medication, if you realize that you're having some difficulty because of some medication that you were prescribed, it's important to be able to express that to the doctor so that you can have a conversation. Okay? So, como de ka dia, la ni diferent bay ou sa apon an program la, ou ka apon ki manye pou ou solve se problem la, ou pitet ni si ou ka ni mal, ou ka jwen, yo ka mucho diferent teknik, diferent manye ou sa manager mal la, ki manye pou pale ek fami ou about sa ou ka senti kon ni malade la, ki manye pou pale ek nos la, ek dokter, ki manye pou sa gade asou bwet, se bwet la, ek se different package la, an supermarket la, so ou ka veye yon bay, ou ka di, mwen ka try biswi sa, so ou sa veye ek wek ki kantite sik ki adan. Because the one program la, ou ka apon ki kantite sik ki bon, ki ni ase, ki ni trop. So la ou veye biswi an levay la, la ou mette ti linet ou veye, ou ka we ki kantite sik, ou ka sa, sa ni trop makay point. E ben si mwen pon sa, se yon sel biswi mwen sa manje pou jounen, mwen sa manje 6, mwen sa manje whole patche. So you will learn all of these things in the program. At the end of the 6 weeks, you receive a certificate which says that you have followed the program completely, and these are some of the things that you have learned. So it's a very interesting program. It's a program that you can learn a lot from. So nou ka ankouraje tout moun rejistwe an se diferent health center, pale bay nos la, di ou vle rejistwe pou program la, pi teti ka yi pou an ti miet plis tan pou yo sa jwen an group, me mette non ek ley posib, ou ka yi jwen kou adan an group. I just need to add that the program is now available virtually as well. I'm not too familiar with the virtual aspect of the program, but you can still register and get more information in terms of how you would go about. I guess if you would like to go virtual, you can state your preference when you register, so that whoever is available, it would probably be much easier to get into a group if it's virtual, because it means that, for example, if there are people from Beaufort, Dennery, Choiseul, Ancillary, who all are interested in the virtual program, they can all come together. However, if it's face-to-face, you would find that you need to be in a specific location. So, for example, if it's Delse or Canries proper, then you would need everybody to be from that particular area. Louisa, is there anything that you think I left out that I need to add about the program?
For in the event, for example, you have somebody that you're taking care of that has the chronic illness, and you want to be part of that program, is it possible? For example, maybe let's give example my aunt, and I'm the one taking care of my aunt. Can I be part of that program since,
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
because sometimes when in taking care of these people, you need to better understand.
Yes, it would give you a good understanding of the of what they go through and how to best help them.
Okay. I think you covered everything. You spoke about the online, you spoke about what it entails. So I think you covered more or less everything about it.
Okay, great. So if we have any questions, feel free to ask your questions.
Yeah. Um,
If not, we will continue, Louisa.
yes.
Okay.
So I know for the new year, many of us plan on taking better care of our health. I mean, like Fon said, some of us have made our New Year's resolution to take better care of ourselves, eat properly, continue exercising, continue drinking a lot of water. But with everything else, I mean, we must understand there are certain things we need to do and to better take care of our health and manage our health. In doing that, we want person to remind persons of the various tests that they should do or the various examinations that they should partake in during the year to manage their health a little better. I didn't realize it was that time already, but we will just browse through the different areas we want persons, like the different tests that persons should do, and so on. And I want to start with the men this year. I know it's difficult. For where did you go to? But I know it's difficult for men. Some men love going to the doctor, but whereas some men are a little bit more hesitant to seek medical attention when they are feeling ill. I'll just start with the men, and I want the men this year to take some time and make it their priority to manage their health. And it doesn't have to be your partner that have to pressure you or persons in the family have to be quarreling behind you, but rather you taking it upon yourself and making it the duty to manage your health um, this time around. So, so depending on your age and your medical history, you know there are different tests that needs to be done. And I remember last year, Dr. Mackey was speaking about it. When you reach a certain age, you can do various tests as a marker, and then you continue doing it every year. So then you see the difference whether you're at risk or you've been managing whatever issues, health issues that you had. So, for example, you can start doing your cholesterol test. You check your cholesterol. Let's say this year you say this is the first time I'm doing my cholesterol. You do your test and you use that as your marker for 2022, and then you continue doing it as prescribed by your doctor or your medical professional. So every year you do your cholesterol test. So then you see whether your good cholesterol is good, your bad cholesterol, at what level you are. So we're asking persons to start doing these things, like men especially, start checking your cholesterol. Go seek medical advice. Go to your doctor. Speak to your doctor. We have mental health clinic at Sufre Hospital. Feel free to find out about the mental clinic. Check your cholesterol, and a lot of us are at risk because the men they smoke, they are overweight, they have the factors that lead to many stuff. So we're asking persons they are diabetic, they have high blood pressure. So go check your cholesterol. It is of utmost importance that you do that. Who? You're afraid of what? Oh, your blood pressure. It's free of charge at our wellness centers. I mean, they give you the small booklet, or you get a small book, and they continue recording it every time you come in. You know, make sure you check your blood pressure. Diabetes, you check your blood sugar level. Where you at? Do I have a family medical history with diabetes? Um, I have started having the symptoms of diabetes, the frequent urination, the always thirsty, the all of a sudden I lose a lot of weight. You see the signs and we tend to ignore it. So you can always go and check your blood sugar level, see where you at. A lot of us put on middle age weight, especially us men. You see, we have a big belly in front of us, we get big and so on. Go on, we have our nutritionist at the wellness centers. Make an appointment to check your BMI. Find out if you're overweight, if you're obese, at what level you are, if you have a healthy weight. Check your waist circumference. Because some of us, I mean, when we check our stomach and our waist circumference, what it's supposed to be, for our age, we really do not have that. So that these are markers that we do not have a healthy weight. So these are things we need to bear in mind, because if you don't have a healthy weight and so on, it can lead to so many things, and it can put you at risk of so many diseases. So these are things you have to, make sure that you do. Prostate cancer, many of us, I mean, there are the tests available. If you're at a specific age, 45 and older, you can always go to your doctor and ask to check. Um, I know some men say it's very uncomfortable, but it's just for a few minutes. It's just for a few minutes, and then afterwards, everything will be fine. Or you can do the blood test, you can do your PSAs. I mean, these are things, you have to do. Make it your New Year's resolution to do, especially if you know you're of age where you're supposed to be doing these things. The other thing, um, do your dental examination. Check your teeth, do your cleaning, go to the eye doctor, check your eyes, and so on. These are things you have to do as men to better take care of yourself. Yes, a lot of us have the family history of certain diseases. We know it, we see the signs and symptoms, but we tend to ignore it. So take an active role in your health this year. Use that as an opportunity amidst COVID. And don't use it as an excuse. You don't want to go to the hospital because there are so many COVID cases going around. You can always go to your wellness center. You can always go to your private doctor, and sometimes, based on the nurses at the wellness center, they can accommodate you at specific times. So you can always speak to your nurse, feel free, at the wellness center, and they can work around your schedule. So we're asking all of that, especially for the men this year, to take responsibility for your health. Now, having said that, I don't want to leave the ladies out. We want to make sure that you come and do your pap smear at the wellness center. Check your breast for any lumps and so on. Come in, have the nurse teach you how to do the self breast examination. Go on YouTube. There are so many things you can do also to take care of your health. I want to make mention that a lot of us tend not to take care of our skin. You know, Take care of our skin, our nails, our hair. Overall, we want persons to manage their health. So, fun. I know I'm rushing it a bit, but I guess time is against us. Fawn, are
Okay.
you hearing me?
I will just add for the men, particularly the younger men below age 35, from adolescent up till about 35, you need to be checking your testicles once a month. Okay? So you can either ask a doctor or a nurse to help you, or as Louisa mentioned, there are resources online that you can learn how to check your testicles once a month so that you can identify any changes or anything that may not be as it should be so that you could seek medical attention.
Thank you, Fawn. So, like Fawn was saying earlier on, our COVID cases are increasing, and we know over the season a lot of us tend to socialize. A lot of us did not practice what we were supposed to, and now we're seeing the effects of everything. And we want persons to be mindful, and we want persons to continue following the protocols that have been set. It is for you, it is for your own benefit, your family's benefit, your children, and so on, and your community. It benefits everybody and your country at large. So it's just not a matter of the protocols are there, we shouldn't be following it, but there are benefits in following the protocol. Many of us stop wearing our mask, and we want persons to continue wearing their mask and wear it properly. Um, our masks are always underneath our chins or on our wrist like a handbag, or we hang it on our mirror in our vehicle or our brakes. Are you call it the bricks what phone? The gear sticks?
Okay. And many people wear it under the nose, covering just the mouth.
Very much so. We want persons to continue wearing the mask properly. I think after 1 year of preaching that person should be wearing the mask, or people should get accustomed of wearing the mask by now. I know some people cannot wear the mask, but majority people use that as an excuse. They cannot breathe. But it's almost a year, so now you should get accustomed to wearing the mask already. It's a year plus, right? We have been preaching to wear your mask. So if you practice wearing your mask every day, by now you should be accustomed of wearing your mask. I know I, for one, can wear the mask for almost the entire day, and it wouldn't bother me. But it comes with the job. So you too now have to think about, looking for strategies to get accustomed to wearing the mask. And that's all we're asking, so that you can continue wearing the mask all the time. Some people go to the supermarket, they show the security that they have the mask on. By the time they're walking in the aisle, the mask is underneath their nose. You're still putting other people at risk. And we want person to be mindful of all these things. Um, the other thing is washing and sanitizing of hands. You have to continue practicing sanitizing your hands and washing your hands with soap. Washing your hands without soap is not washing your hands. So you have to continue using your hand washing soap whilst washing your hands, and ensure that you wash your hands properly by cleaning underneath the nails and making sure you wash your hands the way it's supposed to. You're supposed to, sorry. Also sanitizing your hands. There are many videos online that shows you how to sanitize, as well as the steps in washing and sanitizing your hands. Maybe we can do that live in a different program. So social distancing, persons, a lot of persons have forgotten about social distancing. It is still of utmost importance that you keep your 6 feet apart. Make sure whilst you're in the line at the banks, and we see it every day at the supermarkets, at the various business places, persons do not want to keep the 6 feet distance. It's not as if you go closer to the person, you go in the bank faster or you enter the supermarket faster. You just have to maintain that 6 feet distance. The other thing I want to make mention of is cleaning and disinfecting. We have been speaking about infection prevention control measures, but there are certain areas we fall short because we see that the banks, after every person, they tend to clean, they tend to disinfect. But however, we're asking our bus drivers, we're asking at home that we continue cleaning and disinfecting, especially if you know you've been in town, especially as we have all the increased cases. Continue cleaning and disinfecting. Some of us, a little bleach and water can do wonders, especially on our doorknobs, our surfaces, and so on. We have to continue cleaning and disinfecting, especially if we have persons who might be positive, who might have the signs and symptoms of COVID at home. We need to take the necessary precautions, making sure that you store all their clothes separately from yours, making sure that they stay away from everybody else. And we know sometimes our house is not designed, there may be one toilet facility, but if you know you have the signs and symptoms of COVID, try your best or try as much as possible to ensure that everything you touch, you at least disinfect, especially if you go to the bathroom and so on, or you touch the doorknobs and so on. So it's always wise that you continue practicing these things. Um, and if you have a business place, please try as much as possible to clean and disinfect surfaces where there are many people coming in and out of that business place. So we're asking persons to adhere to these measures to ensure that we help curb the transmission of COVID within our communities. Fawn, did I miss out on anything?
I stepped away for a minute. I'm not sure if you covered the ventilation, but I'll just mention that you should avoid crowded spaces. If you are indoors, try as much as possible to open up your windows so that you can have a free flow of air. The other thing is if you have symptoms, you're experiencing symptoms, please, we encourage you to go and get tested.
Yeah,
Try to avoid diagnosing yourself and being out there in the public and at the workplaces without knowing definitely what your condition is. You may think it's a simple cold and it may be COVID-19. So we encourage you to go out and get tested.
yeah, because in the community, when you see persons with the running nose and so on, a lot of people say, "Oh, now everything is COVID, so people cannot have a flu nowadays." They're quick to say that. Um, but since you have the same signs and symptoms of certain things, it is wise. The only thing that can tell you if you have COVID or not is if you get tested. So you might have the runny nose and you feel you have the flu, but you might just start you might have the symptoms for COVID. So only the test can determine such, and that's why we're asking persons to get tested. And for God's sake, if you go to the respiratory clinic, you go and get tested. Do not stay walking in town among everybody. Obviously, you've had contact with somebody with COVID, or you have the signs and symptoms of COVID. So therefore, the best thing for you to do is to go home. Do not continue walking in town. I mean, greeting your friends and your peers in town, or walking from store to store. Think about what damage you can do if you're actually positive, or what can happen to somebody else. Or you might just be, transmitting it from one person to the other because you've been from one store to another. So if you go to the respiratory clinic, you've got tested, try as much as possible to go home. Do not stay in town. So, um, having said that, we want to remind persons to make sure the vaccination sites are available so that persons can actually come to get vaccinated. And at our wellness centers, you can find out what days that it is available. I have not find out for the new year if it's what days they have at our wellness centers. So please call the wellness centers if you do not want to come to Sufre on a Monday and Friday and you're in the community, find out what days they're offering the vaccines at the wellness centers. So the next topic now, it's already 11 o'clock.
Next topic now.
Well, we meant to speak about Omicron, and I know that a lot of people want to hear a little bit about it. And I'm afraid of Erland today. Erland.
Fun, a little space you go for.
Well, that's everything we've been saying is just a little sneeze. Erland, I rest my case with you. Since morning he come there, it's just a little sneeze. I better run for the hills. So, having said that, it's 11 o'clock.
Yes.
We will we next week hopefully, if we have time, because we have our schedule, what we really want to speak about.
So maybe we can share with the listeners what we intend to speak about next week.
Very much so fun. You can go ahead.
So next week we plan to have a guest to speak about cervical cancer, focusing on prevention and early detection. This month of January, we try to raise awareness about cervical cancer, and cervical cancer is a type of cancer that can be detected when you do your pap smear. So Louisa mentioned it earlier for the women. It's important to get your pap smears done. There are certain things that can be done in terms of prevention and certain things that can be done in terms of early detection so that you would limit the severity of the disease. We have invited a guest, and hopefully she will be able to join us next week and delve into prevention and early detection of cervical cancer and the services available within the public health system.
Thank you, Fonny. So having said that, we will close. Let me just say thank you to our listeners on Facebook who provided us with feedback and let us know um, what was happening with our sound system, and it really helped us quite a bit. So thank you again. Forever grateful, and we're always happy to get the feedback from you. I should say thank you to all our listeners and our supporters last year, our resource persons who came on the program. Um, we we're hoping that persons will adhere to the protocol. They continue wearing their mask, and persons keep safe, they themselves and their family members. So, having said that, I would like to wish everybody a good afternoon. I mean, for later on, and
The balance of the day.
for the balance
All
of
right.
the day. And Erlan,
Mhm.
I will have to take you down to the hospital with me
Um,
for all that sleeping.
uh,
And it's not an impudence. It's not an impudence.
an imprudent.
It's not an impudence you have. So, hopefully, I'm hoping to see everybody around in the community. So take care, everyone. Fawn, would you like to add anything?
Thank you to our listeners. It's always a pleasure having you. Feel free next week to send in your questions via WhatsApp, Facebook, call into the program. We would welcome your participation and your engagement with us. Have a wonderful day, and we look forward to meeting with you next week.
All right, nice. Again, I want to thank you, Fawn, for being here with us. All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. And guys, on the outside, remember, keep doing the essentials: washing of the hands, sanitization, of course, social distancing. All right. With this being said, tune in next week, Monday, same time, same frequency. Of course, with the wonderful ladies always disseminating information, keeping the public abreast. All right. Again, I want to thank both you guys for being here today.
Always
Thank
a
you,
pleasure.
Erlan.
Bye. Fun.
Bye.
Bye. Till next time.
Bye.
All right. Okay. Super 88.5 FM. Keep it locked. We're going to be back with some more.
Haven't you heard? Heard what? Well, this program being broadcast on 88.5 Super FM on Fridays from 10 a.m. Call, listen, get in on the discussion about community police.